Hello dear conference attendants and esteemed researcher committee. I'm Soner Gökçedağ. I have newly graduated from Gazi University, Department of Chemical Engineering. We're working on the project titled Adsorptive Removal of Polystyrene Nanoplastic from Water, Roll-off Activated Carbon and Ion Exchange Resin. Here's an overview of the contents. I will start with a brief introduction, then I will explain the microplastic issue with some literature examples. Then I will go through experimental section and end with conclusion. Plastic pollution presents significant threats to ecosystems and human health due to their persistence and toxicity. This study investigates the adsorption behaviors of SEPA-based sp207 resin and commercial powdered activated carbon as adsorbents for nanoplastics in water. The main objective is to evaluate and compare the removal behaviors of these two materials. Microplastics are plastic particles smaller than 5 mm, while nanoplastics are even smaller, ranging from 1 to 1000 nanometers. Primary microplastics are intentionally produced small plastics particles used in products like cosmetics, paints, or personal care products, while secondary microplastics form from the fragmentation of larger plastic debris in environment. These plastics enter the food chain through small organisms and accumulate in humans. Their large surface area lets them absorb toxic chemicals like heavy metals, increasing harm. Exposure is linked to respiratory, inflammatory, and metabolic health issues. As toxin carriers, they pose risks beyond their physical form. In previous studies, different adsorbents have been tested for removal of micro and nanoplastics from water. You can see some examples of them like superhydrophobic polyurethane sponge, activated biochar, or sawdust-based active carbon, and their performance. Two adsorbents have been tested for this study, sp207 and commercial active carbon. Both of them have properties like high porosity and high surface area, but main difference is SEPA-based is in form of microporous structure and spherical beads, while active carbon is in microporous structure and fine powder form. In this study, monodispersed polystyrene nanoplastic particles were used as model contaminants to investigate the adsorption behavior. Two different adsorbents were tested, SEPA-based sp207, a synthetic ion exchange resin, and cold-based commercial powdered activated carbon. For each experiment, 0.05 gram adsorbent was added to 20 ml of nanoplastic solution, and the experiments were conducted at room temperature. Nanoplastic concentrations prepared at 50, 100, 150 and 200 ppm by diluting stock with a distilled water. Kinetic studies performed on 200 ppm samples analyzed at 10, 30, 60 and 90 minutes, and also equilibrium data obtained by 24-hour contact for all concentration. Calibration curve was created using standard nanoplastic solutions. Absorbance was measured by UV visible spectrophotometry to determine sample concentrations. These figures shows how absorption amounts have changed with time. As you can see, for SEPA-based, rapid absorption occurred within 30 minutes and rate gradually slowed down over the next hour. But active carbon performs slower initial absorption rate and gradually increased more controlled way, gives an S-shaped curve. Also, the absorption capacities and removal efficiencies of both adsorbents were evaluated. You can see SEPA-based showed higher absorption capacity and removal efficiency. Also, kinetic models have been studied on pseudo first order, pseudo second order, and intraparticle diffusion kinetic model. The pseudo first order model assumes that the adsorption rate depends on how many active sites on the adsorbent surface, while second order suggests that the adsorption rate depends more strongly on active sites, indicating that chemical bonding controls the process. and intraparticle diffusion model considers the diffusion of adsorbate molecules into pores at the adsorbent is the rate-limiting step. With higher R-square value, second-order kinetic model has been chosen for CFS, suggesting that chemisorption is dominant mechanism. For active carbon, we saw the first-order model choose for higher fit, suggesting that physical adsorption is dominant mechanism. At the isotherm model section, Langmuir, Franley, Temkin, and Davin-Radushkevich models has been analyzed. Langmuir isotherm assumes monolayer adsorption on a homogeneous surface, while Franley isotherm models multilayer adsorption on heterogeneous surface. Temkin considers adsorbate-adsorbent interactions and assumes adsorption heat decreases linearly with coverage, and Davin-Radushkevich isotherm describes adsorption is in microporous materials based on adsorption potential and characteristic energy. For both of adsorbents, Franley isotherm model has best fit for the experimental data that indicates adsorption occurs on heterogeneous surface with multilayer formation. As a conclusion, this study examined the adsorption behavior of CFS sp207 and powdered activated carbon for removing polystyrene nanoplastics from water. Experimental findings showed that sp207 exhibited faster initial uptake and best fit with the second-order kinetic model, indicating chemisorption, while active carbon exhibited slower initial adsorption aligned with the pseudo-first-order model, suggesting physical adsorption. The Franley isotherm best described equilibrium for both adsorbents, indicating multilayer adsorption on heterogeneous surfaces. According to equilibrium data, CEPA-BESS demonstrates a higher adsorption capacity of 63.57 mg per gram with a removal efficiency of 73.46%, while active carbon showed an adsorption capacity of 55.25 mg per gram and a removal efficiency of 69%. These findings provide valuable insight for future water treatment strategies targeting nanoplastics. Also, further studies could investigate the regeneration and characterization of these adsorbents, as well as the effect of solution pH on adsorption performance. I would like to express my gratitude to Gazi University Scientific Research Project Coordination Unit for their financial support. I would also like to thank Associate Professor Dr. Emine Ekinci and Associate Professor Dr. Birce Kahraman for their invaluable guidance and supports, and I would like to extend my gratitude to Sıla Mert and Dilara Leyla Kaplan for their contribute and support. Here are the references I used while in this presentation, and thanks for your attention.